Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pen to Paper. I'm so happy to be here with you. I have to apologize to all of you because 2 weeks ago I said that last week I was going to be live from Mexico. Unfortunately, that was Thursday. So Thursday morning, I'm in Mexico. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do my pen to paper live. I'm going to make it kind of fun and exciting for everyone. And then it completely slipped my mind. I guess I was just in vacation mode. I wasn't thinking. And also, I don't think my mom would have let me do this because I was already doing enough work while I was on vacation. Okay, technically, work technically not work for me because writing or editing or getting my book ready for publication is not work for me. I don't consider it work. But I did have to do, a good amount of that while I was supposed to be vacationing. So if you're asking, did I actually vacation? Yes, I did. I still took time to enjoy the moments while I was there by myself with my mom, just being in the ocean. The waves were phenomenal. Where we were, the resort was amazing. So were the staff. I am going to put together a slideshow. I've done two so far. I've done Take a Tour Scotland and Take a Tour Cuba. And soon I'm going to do one for Take a Tour Mexico. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. That's just a fun aside. It's not writing tips or writing advice, but it's something personal to me. I love traveling, vacationing. So I think it's cool to just share that with all of you who want to see it, right? So today, though, is the Promise Live. I'm going to be showing you how to line edit. What is it? What are you looking for while you're line editing? And I will even live edit two pieces or two excerpts from the book that I'm publishing next week. So that's right. You get a little sneak peek into two scenes in my book, and I'm going to live edit with you on screen to kind of go through the process with you. Now, obviously, should you get your own editor? Yes. This is good exercise nonetheless for you to understand how line editors work, what they look for, what are they changing, why they're changing what they're changing, but also why not line edit your own work before it even goes to an editor so it's as polished as it can be, right? And let's say you're a self-published author, you just really can't afford a line editor. There's ways to work around that. You can barter with someone, so you could do a service for them and they can do a service for you. But let's say it's down to the wire. You absolutely have no one in your life with those services who are not able to barter with you, and you have no money. Okay, then you got to work with what you have, right? And this is why I'm teaching you how to line edit. So let's talk about line editing. Where does it fall in the editing steps and what exactly are you looking for? So the line editing comes after the developmental editing, which is big picture, big story. Do characters make sense? Line editing is the sentence flow, your rhythm, cutting out filler words, making sure you're using the exact words that you want to make that's going to deliver the most punch, and making sure the flow works. Are your POVs maintained? All that, all those very finicky, details that make a sentence really pop compared to one that just drags on. That's not something we want to do. We definitely don't want to drag our readers. We want them to be engaged with the words, and that's what line editing does. And after line editing comes the copy editing, proofreading, which is more grammar, punctuation. But I'm promising line editing. So let's talk about what we're going to look for first. We're going to look for clarity. Does the reader instantly understand what they are reading? Or is it just so full of words and you don't even know what's going on in your own scene that they can't even picture it in their mind properly? Then you're going to cut out filler words. Okay, anybody have a guess as to what filler words are? Oh, hello, nice to see you here. If you have a guess as to what filler words could be, go ahead and put that in the comments below. And remember that you can ask questions anytime during this live. That's why I'm doing this live. I thought, what a great way to engage with you guys on the spot, one on one. And sure, you can put me in the hot seat, see if I know my stuff. Okay, so filler words would be really, just, suddenly, those kinds, very, always. Those are filler words that tend to make it into our sentences quite a bit, even in mine. Okay, and we're also going to strengthen verbs. So instead of saying walked, what's another way you can say walk? Well, you can say strolled, you can say strode, you can say ambled. There's a lot more words for walking than just walk that really create a picture in your reader's mind as to how the character walked versus just walking. Then you want to make sure that your sentence structures are different. It's not always she is or she did or he did. You want some variety. You want some complex sentences. You want some compound complex sentences. And I can explain what those are. Um, Now we're ready, really getting to the grammar. Single sentences are you have a subject, you have a verb, and then you can have complements like objects after that. Then you have compound sentences, which are subject verb, and then you have a conjunction, so comma and or comma but, comma or, comma nor, comma for, comma yet, with another subject verb. Then you can have complex sentences, which have dependent clauses. So for example, since it was raining, I didn't go to the store. So since it was raining is, that dependent clause. I didn't go to the store could stand by itself, but since it was raining, can't. So that would be a complex sentence. And then you can have a compound complex sentence where you have the dependent clauses with the independent clauses. I know that sounds all very tricky, but just to say, line editing makes sure that your sentences are a variety of these that make the reading interesting. And then we're going to make sure we show emotion through our action sensory details. We don't want to tell, we want to show as much as we can. We also want to eliminate any weak words, anything cliche. We want something fresh and something natural to you. Also, this is a great place where you can showcase your voice. That's one thing about line editing. Don't over line edit because then you can lose your voice. So you don't want to make sure. So it's a little bit of a balance, but that's what we want to do. We also want to make sure everything flows nicely. A lot of the times we might come across a line where it's just awkward to read in our minds or even out loud. So a good thing to do while you're line editing is to read it out loud to make sure, it flows well. And then again, making sure the POV is consistent. So these are all the things we're looking for when we're line editing. It's a lot. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do the fun part, which is actually live edit. So as I said, I've already edited these snippets of my work, but hopefully, you just get to see a little snapshot of what I'm going to be releasing next Friday. So let's get into this. And I will try to share my process as much as I can. I just want to make sure you guys can see as much as you can. Okay. I wonder if I can make this bigger. No. Okay. So these are two different sections, and I'm going to just edit it on the spot, and I'll describe why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully this helps. Okay. So Eleanor's fatigue hit her like a tidal wave. Okay. A lot of the times it does take, for me, line editing takes quite a bit longer because I'm really focusing on the details. I think I'm going to leave that there for now. I may come back to that. She closed her eyes and could see the way out through the valley of mud she felt stuck to. Okay, here it feels wordy, so we're going to fix that. Let's see here. I'm going to fix that with, let's see, with her eyes closed. Let's try this. With her eyes closed. Um, she felt cold and clammy. Uh, as Let me see here. She felt with her eyes closed. She felt cold and clammy. Um, like waiting. And now I'm going to see, you can see I'm taking all these words out because they're just filler words that don't need to be there. Now I'm just going to let you know this is not going to be perfect editing because I do have a time constraint here, but I'm going to do my best with what I have. So with her eyes closed, she felt cold and clammy, like wading through a valley of mud. We're going to get rid of she felt stuck too, because waiting already gives you that idea that it's difficult to move through this valley. And we get the sense of what she's feeling, cold and clammy. The sun's rays barely peeked through the opening that led out of the valley. Okay, so you can see valley is a word again, doesn't need to be there. So let's do this. Okay. We can do the sun's rays. Let's do this. Let's get rid of all of this. The sun's rays barely peeked through the blanket of clouds. Now you can see that there's a direct correlation between what the sun's rays are trying to do and what is trying to pierce through. She feebly sloshed in the mud while her fingers reached forward, grasping to feel the light of a single sun's ray touch an inch of her skin. So you can see there's a lot of awkward wording here. And that's fine. That's fine. This is what line editing is for. So let's do this. Okay, now let's change the sentence structure a little bit. Let's do desperate to feel the warmth from a single ray. Let's do this. She stretched out the mud while her fingers reached forward, grasping the feel light. Okay. Oh no. Did it go off? Oh, shoot. I don't know what happened. My screen is gone. Let's share it again. All right. There we go. Okay. That works. So desperate to feel warmth, not the warmth. We'll just do warmth. Desperate to feel warmth from a single ray, she stretched out her hand. And now you can see all those words like are gone. Boom. It just makes it more concise and makes it it just makes more sense. Oh, wait, we have a comment. I just realized that. Okay. Oh, hello again. Nice to have you here. Doing some live editing. It's great. Okay. So now let me go back to this. Okay. So desperate to feel warmth from a single ray, she stretched out her hands. See the cold, clammy damp that coated her skin and clothes overwhelmed her senses. I can get rid of all that because I already put in cold and clammy. We know she feels that way. We know she's desperate to reach some warmth, so out it goes. That's a lot of words gone. But that's okay because this is much better already than what was there. Okay. Desperate to feel warmth from a single ray, she stretched out her hands. Oh, I put our. It's out. Stretched out her hands. Now it says, so she held out her hands and reached for her friends. We're going to say that now her friends here sitting with her are Julia and Penny. Julia and Penny held, let's see. Desperate to feel warmth from a single ray, she stretched out her hands. Julia and Penny reached out and took them. See, a lot more concise. We get what's happening. Their skin on her shocked her into a sense of community and remembrance that with their help she could find her way back to Seth, lost in the same valley of despair. Okay, so I'm going to say here their warmth instead, because before we were trying to show that she's longing and desperate for warmth. So we're going to use that again to tie that back to how they're helping her pull her out of this valley. Their warmth shocked her into let's do into community. I think it's stronger. Their warmth shocked her into community and remembrance that with their help. And shocked her into the truth. Let's say the truth. That's, I think it's stronger. The truth that with, actually, let's do this. Shocked her. Okay, let's get rid of community altogether because we're going to bring up that they are with their help. When you have people there to help you, that is community. Their warmth shocked her into the truth that with their help, she could find her way back to Seth. Okay, that seems a little wordy. Let's see if we can bring this down a little bit more. That with her help, she could find Seth. Lost in the same valley of despair. I'm going to keep that because it has a lot of, that's my voice coming out. I could trim it. I could probably change it, but I'd like to keep that. This is where I'm talking about, where you could trim it. You can make it sound generic. You can make it sound like the way everyone else says it, but there's just some things that you know deep down it needs to be said that way because that's your voice. Together in a chain, they could help pull each other to the light. Together in a chain, they could help pull each other to the light, the glorious light that despite the dark's hold still was intense enough to draw them out into love. Okay, again, very wordy. Let's bring this closer. I just realized that I'm only going to have time to do one. So that's going away. If you were able to read that, well, there you go. You got a second extra peek. But that's it for now. Okay. So together in a chain, they could help pull each other to the light, the glorious light that despite the dark's hold still is intense enough to draw them out into love. So let's get rid of in a chain. Together, they could help, they could pull, they could... Okay, see, get rid of could help. Just they could pull. You could even, yeah, they could pull each other into the light. That would be into, because we're going into something, into the light. Oh, I just see it kicked me off again. Look at that. I hope this is helpful and interesting. I just thought I've been doing a lot of line editing. Why not show you my process? It's not going to be a perfect process because, again, I have limited time and I'm just doing it very much on the fly. But hey, that's the fun of it, isn't it? Okay, so together they could pull each other into the light. I'm going to stop it there. Despite
they're here.
Oh, okay. Interruption again. I thought I had locked my door, and I guess I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. Despite the dark's hold, let's do it here. The glorious light. I don't know. I just like that word glorious. The glorious light prevailed. There we go. See, get rid of all that. Boom. And we bring it down to one word, prevailed. And that is a great word to kind of showcase, there's this battle that light and dark, and light prevails. Oh, that light, she believed that only that light could be their saving grace. Okay, again, too much light, too much words. So, um, let's cut that all out. So despite the dark's hold, the glorious light prevailed. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that together. The glorious light prevailed, their saving grace. There you go. Commas, their saving grace. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. A small smile appeared on her face. I'll leave that for now. When she opened her eyes, Julia and Penny were smiling at her, their eyes sparkling with the same light she had seen, felt within. Okay, the words at the end, scrap, that just doesn't make sense, doesn't flow really well. So let's go back to the beginning. When she opened her eyes, yeah, Julia and Penny were smiling. We don't have to say at her, they were just smiling. Okay. Their eyes, their spark, there you go. You can just write their sparkling eyes, their eyes sparkling. Boom, that's it. We can just do that quick. There you go. So do you see how like I cut out so much, but it now is more concise. It's I think more punchy, and we just brought down our word count. Not more words does not mean better result or better at all. So let's go back. Let's take this off, remove. Okay. So what I want you to do now is, do you have a before and after with your line edits? If you just don't even line edit, you send everything to your editor, that's fine. But why don't you just try to line edit and see how you do. So you can comment that down below, your before paragraph and your after line editing paragraph. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope this was beneficial to you. Have a wonderful week. And don't forget, the Mexico trip will be coming soon.